efficiency, accelerate invoice processing, and improve overall efficiency in managing invoices, purchase orders, payments, and expenses. So I'll share my screen now to give you an overview of our solution and what it looks like. So on the screen, you should be able to see the dashboard of our solution. So before we jump into all the fine details of the software, I like to just do a high-level overview of the user access interface so you have a good understanding of what's happening during the demo. So on the left-hand side, we have our core 4 modules. So you'll see expenses, purchase orders, invoices, and payments. The workflow is super easy to follow and will typically flow from the left here to the right in archived as it graduates to the next step in the process. And then in the center of the screen, we have our workspace or work queue, and all of our organizational structures and filters are on the top here. So owners, legal entities, status, organizational units, and so forth will all be seen at the top. So we can mirror your organizational structure here and build it out exactly how you would like. You can also toggle into each area of the business. For example, right now we have our legal entity as Green Bean Co., and we can filter into organizational units and more based on what we're interested in seeing at the time. So we allow for unlimited users within the system, so no need to worry about license fees or limiting people you would like to have access to the software, but we can also restrict and limit their access based on their role. So for audits, some of our clients create read-only access for users, for their auditors, and this way they only have that access to the information they need, including the approval audit trail, and will no longer have to bug the finance team about it. But we've covered all the basics. So here we'll jump into the invoice module, and for the purpose of today and the time frame, we'll concentrate on the invoice module. So the first thing we'll cover is just getting invoices into the system here. There's 2 ways that we can do that based on how the document is received. So for those electronic copies, we'll set you up with a Quadient email address. So any invoice that you forward to this email will automatically feed into the system in the In Progress tab here. So that means no work is done on your end. Essentially, you log in, everything is right here for you. The second way is we have a mobile app, which is especially useful if you're working remotely. All you have to do is take a photo of the invoice, and it will also queue here into the In Progress tab. Now, for those that do come in paper, sometimes there are still those tricky ones. So we have our inbox tab here for those. So you scan it in and it will upload into the inbox tab. We often hear that storing invoices can be extremely tedious or time consuming, and there's 2 ways that that's taken care of, either through a filing cabinet or electronically. For a filing cabinet, what we typically see with people is that they split them into file folders, maybe shuffle them around the office, and then file each one individually. Electronically, most companies that store invoices have to split them out at their desk one by one and upload individually into a repository like a Google Drive, or do a batch upload and manually split into Adobe and create individual files. So we've built our inbox tab so all of those steps can be eliminated. Here, you just upload the invoice. You can also do batch uploads as well. And then you can drag and drop the invoices for those that might have multiple pages. So once you're done sorting, you select and assign the invoice, and it will queue up with all of the other invoices in the In Progress tab here. And if you're interested in seeing more, definitely happy to dive a bit deeper into the inbox tab. But once you're done, they will come into the In Progress tab here, and all of our invoices will be back in that one place again. So we've eliminated all of that paper and have a consolidated workspace. So for most companies, the filing does take place at the end of the process, but by using our software, the filing is taken care of the minute that the invoice is in the system. And now we have everything organized. We'll code the lion's share of those invoices for you, and they'll be ready by the next business day. So I'm going to double click on an invoice to show you what that looks like. So you'll notice once you click on the invoice, most of the coding is taken care of automatically. So everything on the left-hand side here, from legal entities, owners, vendors, dates, totals, descriptions, etc., all of that is taken care of automatically there for you. For this invoice in particular, there are multiple line items, and so all of that is taken care of as well based on historical coding. All you have to do is double click on the GL account and it will pull up the list based on your financial system. For the right-hand side here, you'll see linked transactions. So for those invoices that do have a purchase order, let's say, or any other details will be on the right-hand side there for you, matched up automatically. So for those recurring invoices, our system is smart enough to remember that historical coding. Once you've done one round of coding for the invoice, it will automatically code all of them and look just like the line items seen at the bottom here, with smart code adopting from purchase orders, and you can add line items as well. So we factor in the legal entity or company we're in, also the owner or the person coding the invoice, and vendor when populating all of these line item details with the smart code button. So for that odd invoice that the smart code or P adoption can't capture, like I mentioned before, just double clicking on the GL account and choosing it like so to do that quick review before submitting for approval. And you'll see the submit for approval button right at the top hand corner there. So we'll jump back in to the in progress tab, and you can also batch approve and select. So let's say this is filtered by legal entity and your name is assigned to it. So you could select all and submit for approval from here. I'll show you in the back end quickly how we can create some of those approval channels and customize that however you like. So this is the back end. We'll go into invoices, and I'll show you a few examples of the approval channels that are created. However, you can create your own, and you can name it, descriptions, amounts, legal entities, and so forth will be there for you. On this one, for example, we have anything over $10,000 will go to our CFO approver, Jack Stock. In the next example here, we have Amazon invoices. Anything above $5,000 will go to Sally first, the accounts payable clerk, and then Tom. So when Tom logs in to the approvals in the invoices tab, he'll see all of those invoices pending approval here for you. So once those invoices are coded and submitted for approval, they'll line up here as said. You can batch, approve, and reject from here. If you would like to reject one of those invoices, comments are mandatory. That way there's less back and forth between the accounts payable clerk and the approvers. I'll drill down again onto a specific invoice to show you what that looks like. So from here, you click for approval, and you can also allow for comments there as well. So once everything has been pulled in, that will move to the export tab after being approved. And it will flow seamlessly back into your financial system and look just like those entries that you're doing today. The sync is done here, and then from the export tab, it will move to the archive tab. And this is essentially going to be your historical database of all of the invoices that have gone through the system. So you can search by filter at the top. We have our search button here. And all you have to do is highlight the filter bubble to pull in the applicable invoices. This will also help with narrowing down all of the information for reports. So once again, all of the filters are here available for you at the top. From there, that kind of covers the basis of our invoice module. You can run either CSV or PDF reports by selecting the invoices that you want. Again, for those auditors, we can set it up for read-only access, so they can view it for themselves. And then that wraps everything up for today. Definitely feel free to reach out if you have any other questions or would be interested in viewing the rest of our solution. It is quite dynamic when it comes to payments, setting things up into the back end. I'm happy to jump into that further.